All right. Today, you guys are going to be working on taking a shape and using specifically like the intersect or exclude tool and getting a really abstract piece, I guess. So your first thing is you're going to have to decide what shape you want. All right. So you can pick whatever shape you want, and it doesn't matter to me. But you're going to stick with that one shape the whole entire time. The other thing I would suggest doing so that you can see how things are being deleted or, like intersected or excluded or those kinds of things. I personally would add a fill to the background. I mean, you can add a color to your shapes too, but I like that color today. So I think it's just a little bit easier to add a fill to the background. Now, we did talk about adding a bunch of layers in, so I am going to add just a couple in case I want to put things on top of it, but I don't know if you're necessarily going to need a ton of layers this time because we're using the intersect and exclude. So my suggestion would be to first pick out your shape, all right? Then I would suggest sort of making a bunch of shapes. Make them small, make them big, whatever, medium size, whatever you're doing, but just make some shapes in here. And you can always go back and modify them, right? But just make a couple shapes and then we're going to go from here. So I am going to start moving these shapes into some kind of arrangement here. I'm going to leave this. I'm actually going to extend this. And remember, it's okay if things are off the side. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to have this one overlap here. I want this one sort of not in the middle, but over to the side. This one, I'm actually going to go and rotate it. So remember, if I go to this little circle here and I go to rotate it, and you can see the numbers that come up, it tells you, I will tell you, it's very hard to get it straight. That actually looks like the best job I've done so far. I am going to have this come up here and I'm going to extend it down. I'm also going to take this one and I'm going to rotate this one as well. All right, and I'm going to overlap it on this one here. Okay, so this is just the start. And I would do little bits at a time because you can always go back and add more to it. So I'm going to start to use the exclude and the intersect to try to get things to sort of go away. What I have found is the easiest way is to not try to select from your canvas. Remember how yesterday I told you to like click here and select that. That works for some of it, but the other thing that I found what works best is if I come here onto my layers palette over on the right hand side and I click, and remember it automatically comes and selects that for me. So if I click and find like which ones I want to do. So if I wanted to use this big rectangle here, and then I wanted to try to find this one here, I would press Control on my keyboard, and then I would click what that rectangle is. So unfortunately, like this is showing me that it's like selected. It looks like it selected everything, right? But I know it selected this one and this one because they go from the top to the bottom and from side to side. So it's going to look like it's selected everything, but it really only selects that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press exclude. So you can see how it took out where they were connected, right? So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm actually going to do it to this one. Oh, I didn't select it on here, but this one. And oh, I'm sorry, timeout. Come back here. So this, it's changed. Did you guys see that? It changed what it's called. So path 2 is what I just did. All right, so now it's called a path because we put a couple things together. So right now I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles that are by themselves and are separate from each other, and I have one path. Okay, you can come in and rename, or maybe you can't rename them. I thought, oh, you can come. Yeah, I had to just double click. Sorry. You can come in and rename them if it makes it a little bit easier for you, depending on what you're doing. Okay, so I want rectangle 1, and I actually want this one connected, and I don't know what that is. So I'm going to try to find that out. So I'm going to press Control. And so that's not what I want. So I pressed control and clicked on it again because I don't want that one. So let's try, oh, I clicked path 2. Well, that wouldn't help, right? Because I don't want that. Let's try rectangle 3. Oh, and that worked, right? Yes, because it extended out to here and it has this in it. And I am going to exclude that as well because I really like how this little like line is here. All right, so I'm going to actually, I want these two connected. So I'm going to do path 2 because remember, this was path 2, so path 2, and then I think this is probably rectangle 4. So I'm going to press control again and click rectangle 4, and I don't know if that's it because it didn't change, right? So I'm just going to try it. And I'm actually going to do intersect. I'm going to see what it does because we can mess around with it. And the worst comes to worst. See, it took away everything. That is not cool. So I'm going to go up here and click undo. That's not cool. And actually, I'm going to try to rectangle 5 and see what that does because I don't know if that's truly what I wanted, right? So again, if I press control and click, I can get rectangle 4 unselected and then press control and click on rectangle 5. So let's try that again. What do I want? Intersect? Oh yeah, see, that got rid of all of it. Now there may be times when you really like that. Like I sort of like that it has like this little tiny rectangle here, but that's not really what I want. So I'm going to press exclude and see what that does. Oh, that looks cool. All right, so that got rid of where it was overlapped, which I really like actually. All right, so now I only have one rectangle left, which this big long one because I haven't done anything with. And we have path 3 and 3. So see how sometimes it gets really confusing. So I'm going to click on this because I'm going to label that like path 4, let's say, just because I need to know what that is. So I actually want to combine path 4 and rectangle 4. So, oh, I press shift. Don't press shift. I do that a lot. So press control and then you can click both of them. And then I'm going to also do exclude on that one. So it moved it to the back a little bit, which isn't bad. And then it excluded up here. So you are going to continue doing this. So now I've got all of these sort of like what I want right now. So I would then come back to my rectangle and I would start adding more shapes in here, right? Because I need to fill up this page a good chunk. So we can have big ones, really skinny ones. So then what I would do is continue to come in here and sort of modify what I've done. And maybe they don't go all the way. Maybe they're like this, or maybe I have some that are starting to be at an angle because that could look really cool as well. So you're going to make this composition and like if I don't know what that's going to do if I put it there, but let's see, like just start messing around, making a good composition and having abstract. You want negative space. So just make sure you're keeping that negative space. I actually want to see what this is going to do. So I'm going to click on this and then, oh yeah, I'm going to put that's path 3. So now I know that's path 3. I'm actually going to click on this rectangle because I don't know what it's called. And then I'm going to press control and go back to path 3 and let's try exclude. Oh, that looks cool. See? So you're just going to start to mess around and use intersect or exclude depending on what you want to do and really start doing it all like this. So like I said, you may not need extra layers. You may just want them just to have them. But as you go along, start to see like, what is this composition? And then you can always move this. But remember, because this is one big piece, I'm moving the whole entire thing. All right, so I'm going to undo that twice. Oh, redo that. So just think about those different kinds of things, what you're going to do. You don't want too much negative space, but you do want some so that your shapes can breathe. So that is what you're going to be working on for the next couple days.